tell us a little bit more about yourself.
Well, I was born many years ago in Wales, that little country in the United Kingdom, and that nobody ever knows about. And so Wales has got a fabulous musical tradition, especially with choral singing. So I was always brought up in school with lots of music going on around me. And it was there that I learnt to play the organ. I started organ lessons at the age of 13. And
why the organ?
No, because it was so big and so loud. I used to play the violin. I played the violin very badly for many, many, many years. But the first time I heard an organ, it was, wow.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah. And so then I was very lucky to be able to work at a cathedral in my hometown and learn how to play the organ and learn how to conduct choirs. And then that went on to my undergraduate career at Cambridge University, where I studied musicology and also played the organ in the college chapel and conducted the college choir sometimes. So that was the start. It was great fun. I was lucky enough to go to a high school that was very musical.
Yeah. Okay, and then after Cambridge?
After Cambridge, I became a school teacher. So I was teaching children aged 11 to 18, and I taught them music and drama, and I coached some sport with them, and I did that for about 6 years.
After Cambridge?
Yes. And then suddenly thought, time for a change. Because teaching music to 13-year-olds is not easy. But it was great. I loved those years of school teaching. And then I decided to have a change, and I went to do graduate work at the University of Washington in Seattle, in Washington State. So I stayed there for 5 years to do my doctorate in organ performance and musicology. So,
Jesus,
bit of fun.
Yes,
wow. I was bored. And then when I was there, I also studied orchestral conducting, because I've also enjoyed working with singers, and so I learned how to be an opera conductor.
And then, after your doctorate?
After my doctorate, I got very lucky.
Again?
The position opened up at Stanford University, and I applied, and my goodness, I got it. And that was 18 years ago.
And you're still there?
Still there.
And what's your position at Stanford?
My position at Stanford is university organist, and I also conduct 2 choirs at Stanford, and I teach organ at the music department there as well.
Have you ever had a Colombian student?
No, I haven't. Not yet.
Not yet?
Not yet.
Who knows? Okay, now tell me a little bit more about the program, about everything you're going to do here in Bogota.
Is that all you want to know? So this program, it was very interesting because when I was first engaged by Mario Fernando Lopez to come and play here, he did specify what the program should be, which is great fun because then it means I don't have to think, what am I going to play? And it was very interesting what he asked me to perform, because the bulk of the program is a set of pieces based on Lutheran hymn tunes by Bach, what we call chorale preludes. And these chorale preludes that Mario asked me to play are from a collection called the Neumeister collection. Now, the Neumeister collection is a very interesting collection because it was only discovered in 1985. All these pieces by Bach found themselves in the library at Yale University. And somebody...
the rare manuscript library.
Yes. And so somebody came across this manuscript and showed it to a Bach scholar. He recognized a few things about the manuscript, showed it to a Bach scholar from Harvard, and this Harvard scholar authenticated it. So in 1985, the 300th anniversary of Bach's birth, suddenly these new chorale preludes appeared. That is just wonderful.
And they were unknown?
They were unknown. They were, and because, the question people ask is, why were they at Yale?
Yeah. How an organ, or let's say any instrument, changes. How the piece itself is very different. Tell me about that.
Always.
Because to the inexperienced It's just another organ.
It's just another organ, except that it isn't. So, I mean, the most important thing that I tell my students is that you don't play the instrument, you play the whole building. Because every organ is going to sound different according to the acoustic in which it lives. So here, for example, big space. So I have to play differently to make it clearer. Because if I play it the same way in a very acoustically dead room in a small church, I'm going to have to play it differently. Because if I was to play it very clear there, it would sound very detached, too detached. Whereas here, I play it detached, but in this acoustic,
It works.
it works. So all the time you have to be listening to what you're playing. And I mean, luckily here with the organ right in front of me, it's very present, very, very, very.
And is there
easy to
like
do.
an ideal acoustic scenario?
This is pretty good here.
Really?
Yes, yeah.
And why is that?
Because it's not too big. Some acoustics, some churches I played at, they're so big, the acoustic is too big. And everything you play has got to be and then the music disappears. I mean, of course, the best acoustic ever is at Stanford University. It is the perfect acoustic.
And but then there's the acoustic side.
Yes.
But then the instrument itself.
Then the instrument itself, I mean, it can have the same names of stops, but they're going to sound very different. They're going to each builder will think of the sound in a slightly different way.
And how do you find this one?
Very comfortable.
You know, it's new.
Yes, yes.
Especially the console.
Yeah, it's everything feels good. Everything is where it should be. It's good. So it'll be my pleasure to see you all here for this recital. I really want you to come and hear this beautiful instrument in this beautiful space, and of course to hear some of the greatest organ music ever written. So hope to see you on Saturday at 5 o'clock. Admission's free.